Let's get started on this. Can you hear it?
Wake up, stumble out bed to the kitchen to make your first cup of coffee, your first of many for the day. You scramble, find the remote to turn the TV on and see what's been happening around the world while you have been asleep, if that is what you call that. It's tossing and turning, struggling to catch a few Z's, only to find out that the world is in even more chaos than before. You laid your head down last night, now you only know there is only one place for you to visit before you go insane. One asks what that even is, so you turn on the best show to help make sense of it, and that is the Panic and Rehab Show, where you're reminded of all the noise. It's just that noise that they want you to panic over. Watching Panic and Rehab so eases your mind and heart, and will make you even noise before the end of the show. Now you're done with your third cup of coffee and ready to face the world. But we all know when you wake up again in the morning and you turn on the news, you will need your daily dose of the Panic and Rehab Show. To remind you that the sun did rise and it will set, and all these other problems in the world will come and go, which is what you are reminded of as long as you tune in. Yours, the Panic and Rehab Show.
Good. James from Empty Pockets. How's it going today?
What's up, brother? I just sent Big Tony a link, so he'll be popping in here in a second.
Oh, that's awesome, Big Tony.
He was asking where our reviewers are. A lot of reviewers don't know about the new time change yet.
Yeah.
I've been mentioning on my show, so a lot of the people that are on our early morning show. And then this morning, of course, Facebook's not working. So there's that audience that's not seeing us this morning.
Yeah, that's our biggest audience is on Facebook. And
Yeah,
James
Yes,
went out to dinner on Saturday. I missed the Saturday show because I had some family obligation, and went out to dinner And one in our group who happens to be my daughter's mother-in-law, who's a fantastic person, just an awesome person. She said, "Hey, I caught the Panic in Rehab show. Who is James? I like him. He is funny. She's got your sense of humor, James. She connects with your humor, buddy." That was really nice. And so I said, "Oh, well, that was nice." And you never know, right? Has anybody come up to you and said they've seen the Panic in Rehab show before?
Yeah, you got Tony coming in.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn them on right now.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, people have because I mentioned it, and then a few people have popped in, like my buddy Ronan out of Australia. If he's still conscious after drinking all day, he comes in sometimes in the morning on the Panic and Rehab show. But we get to go in those late night podcasts. We won't call that a podcast. Late night talk sessions. Our therapy, our mano a mano male harassment, if you will.
BS sessions.
BS sessions, exactly right. That's exactly what they are. We accomplish nothing, but we talk about everything.
Right.
And we have a good time. It is awesome. I cut it off early Saturday night. I cut it off at 6 hours.
Well, good morning, Big Tony. Big Tony Speaks. That's his podcast. James has Empty Pockets podcast, and I'll tell you, all your all shows, Big Tony Speaks, because if it's about something, Tony will speak about it. And Empty Pockets, it does local Springfield, Ohio news. He goes to the management meetings, to the county meetings, and he has got a group of like-minded citizens. They have a Haitian invasion problem in Springfield.
Haitian inflation problem, yeah.
It's created inflation, that's for sure.
Yeah, and they speak very respectful about it, and they let you know what's happening in real time to real people, and they're trying to figure it out because they didn't vote for it. Nobody knew about it, and all of a sudden it was thrust upon them. So this has happened to a lot of communities around the country, and it's very interesting. And so I enjoy it. He'll say, James will tell you, I pop in all the time because I'm listening to it as background. I love it.
What is going on with your sound, man?
My sound?
You got like
you keep going in and out.
In and out. It's almost like it's fighting between your earbud mic and your table mic.
Yeah, that might be the case.
Well, I've had it for a while. Maybe it's gone. Okay.
It's still doing it. Technical difficulties.
Right.
It happens. Any better?
Well, we lost your picture.
There he is.
It's still doing it. Try turn the knob on your table mic. Try turn that way down to where it picks up. It's harder to pick up on your regular.
Yeah, it sounds like you're redlining and clipping.
Okay. Not any better.
Keep talking.
Not any better.
You're gonna have to say more than that.
Okay. Now, how about now? Any better?
It's a little better so far. I mean,
I know.
But
it's gotta be better. It's gotta be better.
It sounds to me.
This
it sounds to me like your output is too high.
Yeah. I gotcha. How about now? Any better? No better?
That seems to be better a little bit. Yeah.
Well, anyway. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
You don't have a backup?
Tony, you sent me into overdrive. I'm gonna have to get a backup now. Another $68 mic. You know, I spend so much money on these on eBay or Amazon.
Your earbud has a mic on it, so you should be able to shut your table mic off and go through your earbuds. Because I can see the mic hanging on it.
Like that? Oh. No.
Well, we can hear you just fine right now.
Why you guys mess? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You know, guys are all are you messing with me this morning or what? Is that any better?
No, not worse.
Right.
We're not kidding. We're not kidding. We're not trying to shine you on, man.
No,
this isn't a Panic and Rehab skit.
No, this is actually really technical difficulties.
Yeah. Do not adjust your TV. Do not adjust your sound. Skillet will eventually get it correct. You know, it's one thing we can guarantee, Tony. Ever since it left the studio where Tyler started it at, we've had technical difficulties.
Oh yeah. Well, that's gonna happen. You know, I mean, when Tyler was handling most of your technical and stuff like that, and well,
any better now? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Okay,
it's not muffled anymore.
It seems better, don't?
Okay, all right. So I'm at this dinner. She's talking about who's James. She really gets your humor. And then I said, well, that's great. Thank you. And I'm not going to say her name all over the air, but she was a very nice lady and very Christian lady, right? They do a lot of things in their community for their church. The church family.
She's a very Christian lady, and she gets my sense of humor.
Yeah. And it's a good thing that we have the dartboard and the cussing, because she's only seen the one episode. So I'm thinking, and I'm drinking iced tea. I'm having an Arnold Palmer lemonade ice. I'm digging this. This is great. My wife, she thinks this is all a bunch of fooling around nonsense stuff, right? So I'm like smiling at my wife, saying, look, somebody saw a podcast, and she goes, yeah, I saw the one where you were talking about men who ejaculate 21 times in a month.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's special. Yeah. She said, yeah. And then you guys started talking about stills. And I was like, oh, this is going to be like the church lady. I think it's, what would she say? You're special or evil or whatever.
Special. You got a little bit of Satan in you.
That's all that it reminded me of it. I must have heard 22 shades of red. Okay, so what Panic and Rehab is when America is panicking, right, as we are right now because of the news cycle. Everything's negative. You go on AI and you're dabbling in AI. AI, tell me about this. AI, tell me about that. Everybody's dabbling in AI, and now we find out that AI is liberal, and it's only going to slight all the stories in a liberal point of view. Okay,
absolutely.
And we've already said that because we've said that. So
you can make AI right wing, but it takes a little effort.
Well, I know when I do research, I have found that to be exactly the truth. It does lean to the left.
Right.
Right. It does.
So this show, we're going back to the basics. Trying not to inflate blood pressure this morning, and so we do what's important on these dates, any major birthdays of people, and just talk about it. So today, on this date, April 13th in 2004. You had the fall of Constantinople, which was the last point of the Roman Empire, and Constantine was the last empire.
What year did you say that was?
This was in like 1209 or something.
Okay, you said 2004. Or 12. Oh, you said 2004.
Well, I'm a moron, James.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm just trying to keep it correct, man.
Yeah, 1204. So
there we go.
1204, which is AD, after death, right? 1204, not BC. And this was during the Crusades. So this was a fortress. It was kind of on a peninsula. The fort was located at the tip of the peninsula down at the bottom. It was surrounded by water. It was surrounded by a river and a small ocean, and nobody could ever attack it. This is a siege by the Ottoman Navy, and the Ottoman Navy is trying to come through this huge iron. They put up this iron chain across the waterway to the port that would hold up all the ships, and you never could get your ship and men to it. So what they did was they took all these wooden ships and they drugged it over by land past the big chain and then put it into the water. So they had to accomplish that impossible task first, taking all these battleships over the land and then dumping them into the water to fight the sea battle. All right. Well, they didn't win. The admiral of the Navy lost this battle. Constantinople won because they had Greek fire. They would take these catapults of greased fire and shoot it over the walls, hitting the ships, lighting them on fire, and it was a big carnage. Well, the Ottoman, he killed all the losers. He killed his admiral. He killed all the losers of the battle, because that's what Ottomans do and Muslims do. If you lose, off with your head, right? So they had, during the battle, they had sieges. So as you can see, they have the moat. They had sieges where they would try to come up these giant walls of the fort. And as you can see, the defenders are fighting off the Ottomans. Well, they had these cannons. They had these massive cannons that would shoot these huge iron balls that were as big as beetles. They were as big as a Volkswagen Beetle ball. And the only problem was, he spent all this money building these fantastic cannons in 1204. The only problem was, you could shoot the cannon once, and then you have to let it cool down for 6 hours. And when they cooled it down, they had to put oil on it, and dip it in oil, and cool it down, or the metal would just shatter of the cannon. And so that gave 6 hours time for the people of the castle to sling themselves over on ropes and mortar and fill the hole in that the cannonball. So it was like, you can imagine, they had all these workers going across the wall on ropes and patching it all up before they could shoot again. So the Sultan got mad. The Sultan got mad, and he said, "Listen, I want you to fire the cannons more often, or I'll kill you." So the engineer said, "Okay, but it's going to explode." And so the guy didn't have to worry about the Sultan killing him. The whole gunnery battery blew up, just like the guy said it would, and then he died from the explosion, and all the people that knew how to shoot the cannon died, right? So anyway, the siege continued, right? And the siege continued, and the guy finally won, right? He finally won, and this is him. This is the Sultan who defeated Constantinople. He was 24 years old, all the money in the world, had all the biggest armies, and basically all the people who won the battle, all the soldiers, they went into Constantinople and they just started massacring everybody. I mean, killing everybody in the Constantinople castle. And the Sultan said, "Wait." I mean, the streets were just running red with blood. It was just flowing, right? And so the Sultan said, "Wait, I'm going to give you your life, but you got to leave." So everybody who was still alive after the conquering left. Now, here's the good thing. They never found Constantinople, the last emperor, because on the last day of the siege, he put on all of his armor, helmet, his sword, his shield. He got on his horse, and they opened up the gate, and he rode out leading the last charge of the last fight into the hordes of Ottoman Empire, of the Ottomans. And he was ripped to shreds. I mean, just literally the body, the sword, the shield, the horse, the everything he had was ripped to shreds. He went down with the shield. And they never found him. They never found a piece of him or anything, because what the Ottomans like to do, it's just like they do now over in wherever. They like to parade the defeated through the streets, behead you and cut you in a million pieces and drag you through. But they never found the guy. He was torn to shreds. How about that? I love this story. I love the history of Constantinople. I studied it at college, as you can tell, and it's one of my favorites.
Didn't any Romans double cross the emperor?
The Constantinople, yeah.
Yeah.
He hired this engineer to make all the defenses because the Ottomans were coming. This was the Crusades. This was the Fourth Crusades. They were coming. He knew it, so he hired this engineer to do all the defenses on Constantinople to get it ready to go. And the guy goes, "Here's my bill." And he goes, "No, you're doing it for God. You're doing this for free. We're not paying you. This is to save Constantinople." And the guy goes, "No, that wasn't our agreement. You need to pay my bill, man. I made all these defenses. You got to pay." And the guy goes, "No, I'm not paying you." So he went over and made a deal with the Sultan. He was his advisor for the whole defeat of Constantinople. Knew where everything was, where all the weaknesses was. Hey, so pay your bills.
Right.
Pay your bills. That's the story of that. All right.
Well,
so our next story.
The moral of that story is, everybody, pay your bills.
Yep. You might get defeated by an invading army.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just amazing. I mean, just the thing that was lost.
Your mic's doing it again.
Is it doing it now?
Yeah. There's something the way whenever you're moving around or whatever, it's changing the way it's coming through. So it has to be. I think it's in your. I do believe it's in your earphones.
Am I going to have to spend another $68 per set on Amazon? Okay.
No, you go to Walmart and spend $9.99 like the rest of us.
Oh, okay.
Well,
that's what I got.
Okay.
Well, my headset costs a little more than that.
Well, not headset, like my earbuds. $9.99.
That's actually having technical difficulties with microphones is actually why I use a gaming. This is a gaming headset.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's why I use it is because of technical difficulties with microphones.
Yeah. Well, you can buy just the earphones without mics. That's why I'm glad I got this swing boom. It's been one of the nicest things so far.
I went through a number of microphones. I got a whole bunch of them in a box back here. I went through a bunch of microphones, bunch of different earphones and stuff. And finally I was like, why don't I try a headset?
Yeah.
And I've used the headset ever since. I've not had problem. In fact, everybody said that my voice sounds better through this than it did through any of the microphones.
It's clear. Well, it's clear.
Tony speaks. Well, clear. And we can use it for our Saturday wrestling, neighborhood WrestleMania that we're going to have a sports show on. All right. And you've heard about that, right? Where the neighborhood kids wrestle. We're not allowed to show them on video, but we can call the matches. Single arm bar, double leg takedown. The flying eagle, the whole 9 yards. We got this shop teacher from high school building the ring in our neighborhood.
Well, you would be able to put them on camera and everything with consent from the parents, written consent.
Oh, there's no consent here, man. Big Martha, Big Martha, who's 12, is taking on Fast Tony, man, like 10. So that's a grudge match. We're going to be calling that one first. I feel sorry for that kid because I think she's going to tear him up. Okay, so who is this guy? This guy is the French king, King Henry IV. And on this day, he signed edict, which grant religious freedoms of French Protestants. So I guess, the king finally is loosened up on letting French Protestants run wild in France. There you go. You have to remember that a lot of the New World, the reason we have the New World in America is.
Hello.
Hear me?
You just went.
You
cut
went
out.
completely out.
Man, okay, can you hear me now?
It's doing the same thing it was. Yeah.
Okay, so the reason that the New World was populated, a lot of it was with churches that weren't allowed to meet and pray in their religions, or the way of religion was they came to the New World to freedom.
You got a cord problem. You just heard the humming sound, Tony?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, that sounds like a ground issue.
Yeah.
Too.
While he's fixing that, 4 nuns walking to a bar.
That's funny in and of itself. Oh.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, this was the French king. Okay, and that was in 1598. Now, Thomas Jefferson. Let's get on to some modern history. Thomas Jefferson. You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, Thomas Jefferson. Today's his birthday. And Thomas Jefferson was born. A lot of people are giving him a lot of crap. Their history is really doing Thomas Jefferson wrong. I think, because he had slaves, right?
Yeah, but isn't he the basically the creator of the what we know as the Constitution?
Yeah. Yeah.
So at the age of 36, I mean, we always say sign of the times. They had slaves because that was the thing that was common around the world back then.
Right.
So,
well, Thomas Jefferson was born in Shadwell Plantation in Virginia. He would draft the Declaration of Independence. And then as the third president, okay, no matter what lifestyle, whatever he lived, however they lived on these plantations, that's just historical, okay? That's historical. That's survival. But what he did for the country was Napoleon was in war with England. They needed money. So he purchased some land from Napoleon, and that was called the Louisiana Purchase. So in 1803, guess what? For a few $1 million given to Napoleon for his Napoleonic Wars, we got all of this part of the United States. This was all territory.
We didn't steal it.
Of course we didn't steal it. Okay. Now, the bottom part is Spanish. So there might be some discussions about that, but hey, if Mexico keeps it up, we'll just take the property all the way to Panama. How about that? If that's what they really want, Yeah,
well, for that, the Spanish part there was a war fought, and it ended with a treaty, and some money was exchanged, and it was agreed upon. It wasn't stolen. The majority of the United States as we know it now was either conquered or purchased.
Correct. So here's another thing. When you go to New Orleans, I want you to look at the different churches in the downtown New Orleans, Lafayette, where you go down and get your cup of coffee and some of those powdered donuts, right? And look downtown, and you'll only see Catholic churches. So the settlers that came from Europe would go to New Orleans and go up by boat, go up the Mississippi River to New Orleans, get out of the boats, and the good people of New Orleans before the Louisiana Purchase would say, "Hey, welcome to the New World. Yeah, where are you guys going?" "Well, we're going to settle here, maybe go, grow some cotton or something." They said, "Okay, great. What religion are you?" "Oh, well, we're Huguenots or we're Jewish." And they go, oh, we got a special plantation for you guys. And they take them up the hill in Louisiana and shoot them. That's a true story. Absolute true story. And they'd shoot you. So that word of massacres got back to Europe. And so new boats would come in. They'd say, hey, welcome to New Orleans. Where y'all from? You know, wherever. And they, what kind of religion are you? Well, we're Catholics. We're all good Catholics. Oh, that's great. Here, we got jobs for you. So all of a sudden you see all these big Catholic churches downtown New Orleans. Well, as soon as they bought this property in 1803, half of the congregation got up Catholic churches and left. And they go, where are y'all going? Well, we're really Jewish. So we're leaving now because we have freedom of religion because we're part of the United States now. So, you know, kiss my ass. And then you'll see all the other denominations, temples, you know, Methodists, you know, whatever, you know, all come out around New Orleans. And you'll see outside the circle of the downtown New Orleans. And so that kind of proves the story anyway. But that's what Jefferson's done. I mean, he's known for writing the independence, the Declaration of Independence. And then this is the biggest thing. Look how he increased the size of the United States. One decision. There you go. Right? And I'm sure he didn't have Congress fight them tooth and nail, you know, tell them that they're going to impeach him. How about that? All right. So his birthday is it? That's Thomas Jefferson's birthday. Sidney Portier's birthday. How about that? You know, what country is he originally from? I'll give you a hint.
England.
It's a British descent.
Well, I was going to say, I thought it was the UK.
It's real close to Florida. Bahamas.
The Bahamas.
Yeah, that's right, man. So
there wasn't a Sidney Poitier movie that I ever watched that I did not like. He was a great actor.
He's a great actor. I loved the one where he was a CIA spy, and that was awesome. He's always good.
I'm a little sappier. I like To Serve with Love.
Oh yeah, or the Unexpected Guest or whatever that movie was. You know, that was awesome. Sidney Poitier became the first African American to win the Academy Award for Best Actor in his role in Lilies of the Field. And so there you go, a milestone. Here's some of my favorites for this day. And this day is the Civil Rights. Well, you had the Civil Rights Act, 1868. But also, before that, you had the Confederate forces decided to take on Fort Sumter in Charleston. So there's the Fort Sumter in the harbor of Charleston, South Carolina.
They drew first blood.
Yep. And they attacked it. Nobody was killed, believe it or not. If you could believe that in this thing, nobody was killed. And during this siege, they have different pictures or different renderings of it, but you can imagine nobody could hear anything for the rest of their lives afterwards. You know, that would be the thing. But what I was telling James before.
Uh-oh.
Your mic's gone again. You definitely got to shorten your mic cord.
And I don't have a cat or a rabbit. Maybe I've got another critter in here. You know, I am at war with my raccoon that's living under my deck, right?
Well, you're in that appreciation. I got a piece of ice in my mouth. Asphyxiation fetish. You should quit wrapping your cord around your throat and having your old lady pull on it tight.
But I heard that it helps everything. I heard that. Okay, any better? Nothing?
For now, it's good.
Okay. So anyway, this is Fort Moultrie. Moultrie is where the Confederates shot the naval cannons. They used the American Army's cannons to shoot at Fort Sumter on themselves. So there you go. Right. So that's called irony. But also, this is where Chief Osceola is buried. Big Tony. You ever heard of Osceola County in Florida?
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
and it's Chief Osceola was a Indian sympathizer. He was from Mississippi. His name was Williams, and he was a white man. He was a bald Indian, and he was a sympathizer run out of Mississippi by Andrew Jackson. came down to Florida with a lot of other Indians that were run out of territories by Jackson, and he riled up the Indians. So he decided to bring Chief Alligator, who's a real person, and Chief Osceola, King, and Ocala, and shoot the commandant of Fort King of Ocala. Shot him right in the head, right after guy. He's lighting up a cigar outside the gates. Shot him right in the head. So they had a little Seminole War, captured Osceola, brought him up to South Carolina, and then he died. He was thrown in a pit. He just threw him in a big deep pit like an alligator, and he suffered from an infection of his throat. A doctor treated him, and he treated him so well that he died. So he died from throat infection in the pit, so they buried him there. But the doctor who treated him cut off his head and used his head in a specialty museum in New York City. So the head of Osceola is unknown now, somewhere in the oddities of science.
So he was doing good till he lost his head.
Yeah, and the headless body of Chief Osceola is still in Fort Moultrie, South Carolina. I don't know why I think that's funny. Different. But you know, it's just ironic. Okay, today in the news.
Well, you're also in the S&M, so we'll go with that.
Yeah, well, kind of. I mean, it's just like, you know, we have so many Indian names. But at least today in the news, this was kind of, you know, Monday. I was telling James, I have to do all this research. I'm having a hard time finding weird stuff. So this was kind of weird that happened on Saturday. Died in Haiti, okay, visiting this destination. So at least 30 people died in Haiti this weekend when they went to La Ferrière Citadel. Okay, there were many tourists visiting the site. It was a defense. Citadel was a defense of Haiti against. It's where the runaway slaves took over Haiti, became free from France, and so they defeated the French, which nobody did in that day, and they were one of the first free islands in the Caribbean, Haiti. So Haiti freed itself. This was the freedom point of the Citadel. So they come and they have a celebration every year, like their 4th of July. So the people began rushing. Some fell, others trampled over them, and the officials of the chaos ensued, killing 30 people at a celebration, you know, at a celebration.
Yeah, it was apparently a stampede of people.
Yeah, people began pushing, fell. The cause of the stampede is yet to be determined because no news reporter is going to go into Haiti and find out what. I can guarantee.
What happened is they released a cart full of cats.
Yeah, it was.
Everybody tried to chase them down.
It was a unauthorized TikTok advertised event.
Yeah, let's take up the news of Haiti.
Damn content creators.
In the face of painful situation, the national authorities expressed their strong emotions and immense sadness. That's from the office of Minister Alex Dieter Fitz, who said in a social statement, "There is no prime minister of Haiti. He resigned. There's a commission of 7 people that run Haiti, and none of them had the guts to say they assigned him the prime minister. He didn't want it. Nobody wants to be prime minister of Haiti. That's the problem. Okay, nobody wants to be in charge of Haiti. Because A, you'll get killed by a drug cartel. B, you'll get eaten after the drug cartel kills you. Okay.
Well, now they have the UN contracted military force there that actually protects the what they call the reimagining of the Haitian government.
The Haitian government.
So Disney took it over. They're reimagining.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
That is going to be the most interesting cartoon character known to man, the crazy Haitian.
Well, the most popular cartoon in Haiti is Garfield.
Of course. I'm sure that John tells Garfield all the time, "You eat my spaghetti this next Thursday, I'm shipping you to Haiti."
Yep.
Then
he gets the big old.
You know that Garfield the cat eats spaghetti, right?
Scratch my belly.
Garfield eats lasagna.
Oh,
Yep.
is it
Lasagna, yeah.
Big Tony?
And Haitians eats Garfields.
Right.
All right, so
It's a food
yeah,
chain.
it's a food chain. New allegations deepen in the mystery of the Lynette Hooker disappearance. This is a week after Lynette Hooker vanished from a small dinghy in the Bahamas.
Usually
New
people
domestic.
don't care if a hooker goes missing. So
That's her last name. It's a shame she's had that joke his whole life. His name is Hooker. She married the joke, so she married the joke. Now she has to live with it. But new domestic violence allegations from her daughter has intensified scrutiny on the husband, Brian Hooker, who remains in custody but denies any wrongdoing. Authorities in the Bahamas and the U.S. Coast Guard are investigating. Okay, so I would not want to be in jail in the Bahamas. Trust me, that's not like our jails.
well, I heard that you have your option between lunch or a big fat doobie.
Well, see,
Maybe it's not too
here's
bad
the
out
here's the
there.
thing. If you get the big fat doobie, you're going to eat lunch. So,
Yeah, I mean, if they're
Well,
doing the yabba dabby doobie lunch, I'm in. I
that's the
like my yabba
punishment.
dabba
See,
doobie.
that's the punishment. You eat
Yeah.
lunch, and you still are in jail. You get high, you don't give a shit, but now you're hungry.
Yeah, that would do me. Yeah, that would definitely do me. All right. Well, I tried to keep up with Iran and the negotiations. I understand that the negotiations with Iranian 70 members. Now, how can you make any decision? It started out with 3 or 4 people from Iran coming to Pakistan to negotiate, and then all their buddies and family kind of joined in to get out of Iran. So I think there was like seven. I don't think Pakistan is going to get rid of these 70 people from Iran anytime soon. Anytime soon, they are going to blend right into Pakistan as quickly as possible. But Trump sticks no deal with Iran. Iran refuses to agree with U.S. terms, which is
they agreed on most everything except for the nuclear thing.
no nuclear bombs, no nuclear enrichment.
One has to wonder why this is the big sticking point for them.
Well, I mean,
why? But you know what I mean. It just kind of proves the point that they're after one goal and one goal only: to create something that'll create worldwide havoc.
well, they're Muslims. Okay, well, you all know how I feel about the Muslims.
Me too.
They are Muslims, and what is the Islamic stated goal? Global caliphate, meaning they take over the world. Well, what can you do with nuclear weapons? You can take over the world.
Yep.
Therefore, why do we want to keep them from getting a nuclear bomb?
So they don't end the world.
I mean,
one, and especially with the allies,
and
I don't believe they're allies as much as they're allies as they'd like to think they are. Because if they do something like that, I think it would be hands off. They'd be like, that group of people, the leprosy. Everybody would treat them like they had, leprosy.
well, remember, this is an entire people that they're happy to die. They are,
I'm
they
happy to help
welcome
them.
when you have an entire people that love death more than they love life. How do you defeat that?
Right.
Because you're not going to demoralize them by killing them and everything, anything like that. They believe that they're going to, if they die for Allah, they believe they're going to go to heaven and get all these rewards, the 72 Virgils and whatnot.
Yeah. What they
Yeah.
need,
Well,
what they need
You
as
heard that
punishment
right?
is
You heard that right?
Virgils.
72. Yeah.
I heard there's no more virgins in heaven since Prince died. So there you go. Enjoy that.
But they're not going to get any virgins. They're getting a whole bunch of Virgils.
Yeah,
See, they read it wrong.
they read it wrong. Oil prices rose early oil prices rose in the oil markets with news of blockage of the Iranian port. So what Trump said this weekend or Sunday morning or Sunday night when he came back to Washington was basically says at 10 o'clock this morning, which is now almost 9, so we got another hour until they blockade every port in Iran. Here's a map of Iran and the ports. Here's the Straits of Hormuz, which is a navigational channel which is very close to Iran. And he will not let any ships go in and out of any Iranian port. Now he's allowing the U.S. military is allowing free passage to other ports through the Straits of Hormuz, so trade can continue, and that's the biggest holdup. So already, massive tankers are not even going through the Straits of Hormuz. They're steaming to the Gulf of America to pick up sweet American crude from Houston and fill up their oil reserves. Okay, so here we are selling oil from Texas like they used to do.
Well, check it out. You know, I mean, that's what Trump's goal is. He's trying to drive the commerce to America. All right, we're getting all this oil from Venezuela. We're getting oil from various different places. Plus, we have massive caches of oil here in America that we are tapping, and you know, we got plenty of oil. Now, why do we need oil from anywhere else? Why is that? It's because America, the United States, literally drives the world economy. If we stopped commerce from America, if we had all our manufacturing here and everything, we just stopped commerce altogether. We just shut America off. The rest of the world would die. It would.
Yeah.
I mean, economically, they would die.
Answer me a technical question, guys, because it depends on who you talk to now. Some people say we have low grade oil. That's why our oil, because, and then some people say we have
we have the best refineries. We have the best refineries in the world.
But the oil out of the ground.
Other countries get their oil out of their ground and send it to us to refine.
Yeah, but you understand what I'm saying? Some people say that we have low quality oil compared to other countries, but yet to hear like Trump saying we have the highest quality of oil in the world. So which is it?
Okay, think of your coffee pot. So your old Mr. Percolator, stainless steel, remember the silver coffee pot that had a little bubble on top that bubble your coffee, it's percolating.
You want to do that one more time?
Yeah. And our coffee pot sounded like like you were having sex. And our people that would stay at our house would be like, "What was that noise this morning?" And we're like, "That's our coffee pot." And they're like, "No, that's not that. I've never heard that from a coffee pot before." We'd have to make a pot of coffee, and they'd be, "I'll be damned. What the hell is that?" Right? So anyway, that's a refinery. So you picture that as a refinery that's boiling the oil. You get the different level of whatever level of octane that you need for whatever that you're doing, making aviation fuel, making low grade, unblended, whatever. Okay. Now, some of the coffee is nastier than others. Venezuela, very dirty oil. It takes a tremendous amount of energy to get that to boil. And then once that batch is done, you have to clean the coffee pot, which if you did Venezuela coffee, as an example, you'd take you an hour and a half to clean freaking coffee pot out until you got it clean enough to use a better coffee. Okay. That's what happens to these refineries. Different oil affects the refineries differently, and it takes an amount of time to clean out these refineries to run another batch. And I have a friend that does that. He has crews that go in and clean the aftermath of a run. He's done that for 40 years, 30 years. It's amazing how that's like a whole industry of going in and cleaning out these refineries. And if they're ruined, or if they have an explosion or a fire, or they have to do more welding, then you have to have the certified welders come in weld, and then those welds have to be certified, and it's really cool. I mean, it's a hell of an operation. I mean, heck of an operation. So that's kind of how that
Yeah,
whole oil
those are
industry
those are
works.
those are dark. Those are dark.
I know. Now that you have music, we might 3 points. It's amazing how low I get on points. It's
That's
I don't even
bullshit.
have.
That is
Oh,
bullshit.
that's it. Okay, here you
Yeah.
go. 20. It was a 20. Look, you can tell. Look, it's a 20 right there. You got it
Yeah.
right there. 20.
Somehow I feel like the scoring is skewed. I mean, I'm
It's
just guessing.
it's
It's
like going to the fair.
All in
I'm
how
the
you
guy.
throw that dart.
it's a suspicion. That's all I'm
It's
saying.
it's like going to the fair. You don't win the teddy bear today. Sorry, sir, but thanks for the $5. Okay.
Well,
Um,
at the fair, who wins is controlled by the operator of the booth.
Yeah.
I
all
used
right.
to do that actually.
Yeah. Tony, what haven't you done? I'm telling you.
Very
Okay.
little.
I think you and
In
Tyler are
my
going head to head for a number of jobs, and which me, I'm guilty of the same thing. I get bored with jobs and like doing other stuff, as you can tell. Okay,
yeah,
progressive. Now,
in my short little over a half a century time on this earth, I have done a lot of things. I've been a lot of places, seen a lot of things, done a lot of things, and so I have a lot of experience to draw from. So,
here's a special update. We started this when we first started Mannequins Rehab, and it's called the Progressive Mayor's Race to Destruction. Remember that, James, when we
Yeah.
started this? And
Yeah.
the race to destruction. Here are our candidates and elected officials who are in this race. New York City, Zoran Mamdani. We have Chicago, Brandon Johnson. We have Boston, Michelle Wu. Oakland, Barbara Lee. Seattle, Katie Wilson. L.A., Karen Bass. So far, Zoran Mamdani leading the pack. All the promises he made in his election has not happened. And in fact, it's never going to happen. For rent, number one, well, just look at the facts. Lower rent. He promised lower rents. Rent has increased. He promised free buses. There are no free buses. Guess what he found out? If you have free buses, the homeless move into the buses and stay on the buses all day long.
Yeah.
And then
Boy.
nobody else
well,
rides the buses.
in most larger cities, the homeless tend to do that, even with them being paid. They'll pay for a fare and they'll stay on the bus literally all day long till the bus makes its last stop, and then they get off.
Well,
And you,
Mondani did promise one thing: to tax white people more.
yes, and he has not come through with that either because they have fought him to the nail. Okay,
Yeah.
so the governor came in and said, "Hey, half of the rich white people have already moved away, and so we can't do that. That's against the law." But he did promise one thing, and I couldn't wait for this because it's called. They tried this in Pennsylvania, a free grocery store. They tried it. The city municipality in Pennsylvania bought a store that went out of business, and they started stocking it with free stuff. So you could go in and not shoplift. Just go ahead and just pick up a couple of items free,
Well,
and you got to go out.
Poly
I
Market actually popped one up in New York, and that went really badly. So
I can't wait to see a free grocery store in Brooklyn. Okay, but I can't wait until it does. Also, he has lost all the rich people in New York City because he found out real quick. They leave. They vote with their feet, and they left and unplugged. They left their cell phones in their apartments, so they can't be traced because New Yorkers are traced in wherever they go because they're trying not to pay the taxes in New York. So they do track their phones. Okay, and that's how they do it. And you're like, who gets hired for that job? And they go, well, it's already state employees that work for New York who are on disability, an injury
Mike.
or something. They give them extra money to track people who have left the state. That's what they do. It's despicable. I mean, it's.
Are they trying to do like California? If you, even though you left the state, if you lived here within the last 6 months, we're still going to tax you for 6 months after you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you can't do that.
Well, I mean, you know how California is. It don't matter whether
I'd like to.
you.
I'd like to see them try to enforce it. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, yeah, you got to have assets still in the area for them to be able to enforce that. And you know, a lot of people, rich people, um, you know, that's the thing about rich people. They can sell stuff and move anywhere they want. They're not constrained to a zip code.
And exactly. So what I'm waiting for is him to figure out of not paying people's school. Uh, what do you call it? After you retire, you get a
Your pension.
pension. I can't wait for them to figure out that if you leave the state and get pension, they're going to pay you. And now school teachers do this all the time. Less school teachers that started teaching school when they were 21 years old. They've already retired. They can retire at a certain age. So they moved to another city. They moved to Colorado. They moved to Florida. That's what they did. They start teaching this, and they get another pension. Some of these people have two distinct pensions. They for teaching because they've moved to different states. And they've done a good job. They're good teachers. They're hired. They're highly all that.
Skillet. Real quick question, and it has absolutely nothing to do with what you're talking about. Your microphone, is it XLR or is it a USB?
The USB.
Switch out your USB cord.
Okay.
Yeah, you definitely have a cord
get a different cord and plug it in.
I went around here someplace I know, so I'll get it.
Yeah, we'll get this fixed before we get out of here because you need to have it because you got to do the afternoon news report.
I was just going to go down to Walmart and buy a gaming headphones.
You can get a headset like this.
I got to go to Walmart.
It's like $60.
The reason I say Walmart is because my wife accuses me of saying it incorrectly, so I have to say it like that.
You know what you need to do on your afternoon news report? Remember the old days where they'd have like the sound effects of somebody just tapping real hard on a manual typewriter to get the start of the news report? You need that at the start of your news report.
No, you just need something like this.
Are you ready?
I was my first air conditioned job. I got tired of painting buses. I got tired of changing bus tires. And my first air conditioned job that I actually wore a tie and sat in an office was a telex operator.
Oh.
And that's how I got hooked on the news, because the telex would send us US news all the time. Air. Yeah. You'd be like, oh, great. It was awesome. I love that thing. All right. Karen Bass, LA. Let's see how she's doing. She has a failed safe program. The rest of these mayors, these are all progressive mayors, and they all have something in common. I want you to see if you pick it up. Karen Bass, failed safe program launched in 2022. 5,800 people housed, 300 million spent. 5,800 housed, 2,300 returned to the streets out. 5,800. So whatever rehabilitation, education, money spent on getting them off the streets, they didn't want to go. They went right back to the streets. Now LA has a fentanyl encampment problem. So it's Bass's election year. She has negative approval from the voters. Boston, this is Mrs. Wu, homelessness, drug addictions up. Mayor reducing needle distribution, increase police presence, lack of funding. Hey, good luck at police in Boston. Anything. Hence, a lady that backed into her boyfriend the crime was, she backed into her boyfriend, knocking him into the woods next to the police that was having a drinking party with youth. Remember that one, the murder case in Boston where they had the cops youth drinking party that turned into a cops drinking party that turned into a unexplained person that was found in the snow beside the patch of woods between the neighbor's house and the cop's house. Right. The next morning by the person who they claimed back then. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Oh, and she had a $130,000 SUV, if you remember, and none of her cameras worked. James, remember that? How they couldn't get any of the images from her $130,000 SUV that had every camera known to man, forward, backwards, sideways, the whole 9 yards. That the chip somehow messed up.
Mysteriously got messed up.
Isn't that suspicious?
Is it that suspicious? And then the cameras in the police station were started to flip back and forth. It was what a mess in Boston. So I don't think you're going to get a lot of police presence.
Boston is the place where they send out social workers for crimes. I mean, and the social workers get attacked by a sword.
That was just last week.
Exactly.
A mental, but they're really good. Boston cops, God bless them, thanks for your service, are really good at going to other states' cops' funeral and partying all day. They like doing that. As two of the
Why
cops
not?
came back to Boston from being in New York City, going to a cop's funeral in New York City. Yeah, they're really good representing Boston in that one. Okay, Chicago. Let's see, Brandon Johnson, Chicago. No stats are reported because extreme weather, violence, and migrants. So they really didn't have the staff to go out and do the statistics to see how Brandon's doing. It's also his election year. So I got a feeling it wasn't really good news.
Doesn't he have like 150 cops doing his security?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he has really good news. So he just told the staffers to kind of take the research. They don't really need to file their reports on how they're doing.
And they wonder why they have an overtime problem in the police department.
Yeah.
They don't have enough cops to control those youth takeovers of intersections in the city, but they got enough cops for him to have 150 of them working security for him.
Right.
Just for him.
He's getting ready for the Obama library that's going to be opening up. And the person who's ahead of that whole program, Jarrett, right? The lady, the Iranian, who was his chief of staff, who makes $750,000 a year from the NGO that is the Obama Foundation, who built the library that still isn't paid for, that went over budget by almost $1 billion. And she needs 125 volunteer workers to work the library. Isn't that nice? She's making $750,000 a year, but she needs 125 people to work volunteer free of charge for the Obamas to open up their university for community activators. See, they have a whole college there where you learn how to be a community activist, community organizers. How about that? Isn't that wonderful? What a legacy.
Hey, speaking of the Obamas, here in Springfield, Dave Chappelle lives just 20 minutes south of us here. And of course, John Legend is also from Springfield. Guess who's in town this weekend in Yellow Springs, which is that's where Dave Chappelle lives? Michelle Obama.
Hanging out with Chappelle?
Hanging out with Chappelle, yep.
Nice. Big Mike.
They're
trying to raise money. They're trying to raise money for his library, because they were supposed, when they took over a park that was a beautiful park on a lake with trees and everything. They took over that to build they call it the grocery store trash can shape.
It is one ugly building.
And they had to build all the infrastructure, redo some roads, streets, plumbing, drainage, pipes, electricity, to do infrastructure that cost $200 million. He was supposed to pay for that, but they never did. They didn't raise any money for that. So the taxpayers the taxpayers of South Chicago have to pay $200 million for that infrastructure.
But yet they're trying to stop a privately funded dance hall or dinner hall to be built attached to the White House.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah,
that's privately funded, by the way.
Privately funded. That's what I mean. Private.
Yeah.
Because it's concealing an underground military complex.
Yeah, and Trump is tired of having dignitaries come to the White House. They put up a tent, and if it rains, they got 4 or 5 inches of water that they're standing in during the whole ceremony.
Just about every president has complained that when they have these diplomatic dinners and various different things like that, they don't have anywhere to have it except out on the lawn.
Right.
You know, I mean, they've all complained about it, but yet when Trump decides to actually do something about it, well, now they're all pissed off and complaining and et cetera, trying to stop it. You know, and here's the thing. Why are we going to stop it? Okay. When the demolition has already happened, everything has been laid into place for this thing to go on to actually be built. You know, there's been demolition to the White House. Okay, it's not as bad as the Democrats make it out to be, but there is demolition to the White House. Why are we going to stop it and just leave the White House all, askew?
Democrats' favorite judge, Boasberg of Washington, D.C., he's already ruled that they have to agree to Iranians' demand and let them have a nuclear weapon. So he's already just made a ruling on that. They're stopping all of that.
These judges, they think they have more power than the president, and they don't.
Way beyond the power.
There is absolutely no law.
I'm just kidding.
There's no law.
You had me going, man. My heart was thumping. Hey, now. Hey, while we're on here, I just got a text message. Hey, Tony, can you fill in for me in the morning here? Reason I got a doctor's appointment. Because I've been trying to get into the doctor, and it's in the morning, right at the end of when this show ends. So by the time for me to get there, I wouldn't be able to do the whole show.
Right. I don't know if
we're almost done.
Maryland's still asleep, so
okay, so we're almost done. All right,
I
Seattle.
Don't know
okay, so Mayor Wilson.
What the plans are? What?
This is the best. Seattle homelessness. Mayor Wilson she has a rapid shelter expansion. 1,000 units and 500 tiny homes has not materialized. Lack of funding. Homelessness encampments surging in areas like Ballard, wherever that is, Ballard, which is a suburbs of Seattle. And the campers do not like the camp rules of these encroachments. So these encampments have a rules, and the campers are revolting against that. Also, Antifa, in that Antifa Seattle area based hate group. Yeah, they're claiming that May Day, so we have our taxes to pay in 2 days. Don't forget, 14th, 15th, get your taxes in. And then on May 1st, Antifa is claiming strikes and violence on May Day. Isn't that going to be wonderful? So they're going to get out their cardboard swords and their trash can lids and come out and attack. What's up with that?
Plus, you got primaries coming up here next month too.
Everybody's so enthused to participate in the great experiment of the American government. They can't wait to vote. They're all just can't wait to keep perpetuating this bowling ball toward the pins, and we're the pins. We're the pins. Well, that's the end of the news today. I didn't have some weird news today. I figure we could skimp on the 5-legged pig. 8-leg chicken right now. I didn't want to talk about the American cat that got put on a shipment container by air, went over to Japan. Now they have a taste of cat, American cat. So we got a whole new problem to worry about. Japanese invading the United States for American cat. So there you go.
Yeah, I hope you get your mic fixed by this afternoon.
Right?
Yeah. Well, Big Tony speaks, and he told me to go get a gamer's.
There you go.
I thought that was a trucker's hat, but it's a gamer's hat.
Well, I mean, it's just a.
I can't wait.
You know, I mean, you can get a
You can
you can
land
get a
on it.
similar headset to this at Walmart for like $60.
Oh
So,
yeah,
you know, so I
perfect.
mean,
It's gonna look like runway 7 is open. Go ahead. Okay.
Flight 215, flight 215.
Start your approach. Yeah.
Elevate to 800. Make one more trip around. We got
the worst thing a pilot hears when he's starting to take off? Get off the runway. Get off the runway. What are you doing? Get off the runway.
You're going the wrong way.
What the heck? Oh, you know.
Well, you know, I got to say before I get off here, shit, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits.
Well, there you go.
And there we go. Boom, boom.
There we go. It's an 80-point day today for you.
Yeah. That's all right.
God, Streets
I do it for the peoples.
Bakerfield is going to be your show on Friday.
Bakerfield, there you go.
I like that. I took that man's car keys and gave him $30. What he did in that jail cell. That's right. Oh yeah, that's right. He gave him the house key. He took $30 from the drunk and he gave him his house key. That's what.
Why not?
Not a thief. All right. Well, you guys have a great day. Let's see what else Trump does today that drives the Democrats crazy. They're coming back ready to impeach him. So good luck with that.
Yeah, they've impeached him, you know, so many times it's ridiculous. Do you realize how many times a Democrat has filed articles of impeachment on Trump just in this term so far?
Probably 30.
I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous. They're every other day they're, you know, one or the other of the Democrats are filing articles of impeachment for this reason, that reason, the other reason. Most of the time, it's just a bunch of stupid stuff, you know. And the thing is,
waste the taxpayers' money. That's all they're proving.
Yeah, the thing is, you know, you still have to, you know, an impeachment, you know, in and of itself is nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It's like, because the impeachment is like an indictment in court. Okay. You know, you get an indictment on somebody, that in and of itself means nothing. You have accused someone of something. Okay, that's the impeachment. They accused the president of something. That means absolutely nothing. Then the Senate takes it up, and the Senate is like the actual court doing the trial. They have their hearings, they have testimony, evidence, whatever, and then they decide guilty or innocent. And if they're guilty, well, then, you know, that means something. If not, you wasted your time and a bunch of money.
Yeah. Your Honor, I swear she said she was 18 in 3 days.
And we didn't even bring up Swalwell because that's today's afternoon show.
Oh, yeah, he done stopped his gubernatorial run for.
Oh, yeah.
And the sad thing is he's going to have a hard time keeping his butt out of jail because that's, you know, he that's the whole thing. Epstein, you prey on the broke and the young, the desperate, you prey on that. And if that's the case, buddy, there's no jury that won't convict you. You better be copping a plea because
that video of him with that hooker. That video of him with that hooker, that chick was so messed up. She was so blitzed out of her mind. I'm sure she didn't know, you know, up from down or her own name.
Well, we're pretty sure there was at least 3 or 4 people in that room.
Yeah, the cameraman, that other person that was playing with their phone, the hooker, and Swalwell. There was at least those 4.
And that's called projecting. So whatever they accuse us of doing, they're actually doing it themselves, and he's got to be the biggest projector.
Yeah,
He's the biggest projector in who's going.
and not only doing it themselves, they do it multiple
You
times
know,
over.
if I was the Trump administration, if I was DOJ or whatever, I would sit there and every time the Democrats make an accusation, I write it down, and that's going to be my next investigation into the Democrats. See, that they accuse the Trump administration of this. Okay, well, I'm going to investigate the Democrats for exactly that because they accuse the Republicans of doing everything that they are actually actively doing. So
True,
Let's
true that.
let's await Boasberg's ruling on
Yeah,
the Iranian peace talks and freeing Eric
yeah,
Swalwell.
Boasberg doesn't
So there
have the
you go.
power or authority to do that. So I mean, and there is, as I was saying earlier, there is absolutely no law that says that the president or his administration has to even listen to them. And in fact, they don't even have to listen to the Supreme Court. Uh, just about every president that has ever been a president has gone against the Supreme Court. On their rulings. So I mean, hell, we just had multiple cases of it with Joe Biden.
Yeah, how he's not in jail is beyond me or his brothers. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Have a wonderful Panikin welcome and thank you for coming to rehab today for Panikins.
that's right. And
And your copay is like $12. Not that bad, really.
it's not bad. That's actually fairly cheap, and you can pay that at cash sign EP Garage on Cash App. Just saying,
or you
or
just
go to my
just
website.
or you just hit that super thanks. I mean,
Yeah, and T Skillet Radio. I'm T Skillet, and thanks, Tony, for coming in today. James, have a groovy day.
You can
And
go
if
to
you
my
pop it,
website and you can help support me and get something out of it.
oh,
EmptyPocketsNoBS.com. Just saying.
and my
am
love
I the
making
only one
noise
not doing a shameless plug?
my love making noise maker coffee pot is available for $1,000. I'm telling you right now, it is a good coffee pot. Oh,
Just beware what's inside.
yeah,
Yeah.
we have to keep that because we get accused of this all the time, and we're like, it's a coffee pot. We have to keep it. So for like 30 years.
Well, absolutely. Yeah.
Barberware.
And then you could say,
Barber.
well, would you like to see the video of it? No, no,
No.
no.
Barberware. Okay. Have a good day.
See you
Y'all have
guys
a great
later.
one.